So welcome to today's session, Sam. I'm going to get it straight into it. So Sam, tell me about yourself and when did you realize you wanted to become a writer?
Okay, my name is Samantha Pylon, and I am the author of the upcoming book entitled You're It. And I'm also a singer, songwriter, therapist. So there's a lot of strings to my bow.
Okay.
But yes.
So when you say therapist, what exactly are we talking about here?
I'm a counselor and alternative therapist. So I tend to go to holistic things about the body, mind, and spirit, and combining that for good health and longevity and keeping your life in a balanced way.
Lovely, lovely. Sam, You're It is a powerful title. Can you tell us what is it about? What your book is about?
Okay, my book is about it's for essentially women to really deal with what's going on in with their lives, no matter what age, no matter where they are, knowing that they can be successful on their own terms.
Great, great. Lovely. So what is your work schedule like when you're writing? I mean, I know it's not an easy thing for some writers, but some people talk about writer's block. I myself, as an author, I know how challenging it can be at times. But you tell me, what's your schedule like?
But my schedule was a bit erratic
Mhm.
at first
Yeah.
because I had a lot going on media wise and lots going on. And I don't know about you, but I found when I tended to plan certain times and days, I would always get distractions, always have an event that I needed to attend and stuff. And it got to the point where I had to have a conversation with myself. I thought, well, you scheduled in this time. If you're on the train, this is before lockdown,
Mhm.
right on the train.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did every time. If the time came and I could be standing outside waiting to get into a venue, I would write. Because as far as I'm concerned, you said you were going to do this on this time. So unless you do that, nothing's going to move forward. You're always going to be, be in the place where you are. So so it was difficult, but after lockdown, I thought it was a complete blessing
Yeah.
because it meant that those distractions where when you'd have to go out, they were no longer there. And even though I had my younger son who needed my attention, I was determined to get it done.
Lovely, lovely. Sam, what I get
Yeah.
from you is a level of persistence, and you mentioned something about blocking time out. Yeah, and I think it's very, very important when you doing any task, when you're trying to achieve something in order to reach success level. What I realize is that you have to dedicate time to what you're doing, and I see you've done that. You get into that end point as well. What would you say is an interesting feature of your writing?
The ability to keep things positive, light-hearted,
Mm.
no matter how deeply I go into anything. It's basically you need to do this, but hey, if you don't do this, you're not going to get to the honey. So
Yeah.
if you want the honey, you've got to get here, and you've got to look at if I do this, I'm going to get to the honey. So the ability to keep the enthusiasm and the positivity going, so it's not all doom and gloom, but it's like, yeah, we're doing this to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. So I think that's where my ability, that positive energy and just keeping things up and moving forward.
As
Yeah.
as an author, a published author myself, I know how enthusiasm and the whole, keeping things on a positive level, what it means, especially when you have responsibilities, family, and all that. What interests you when you're not writing? I know you said you're a very busy woman. You have so
Yes,
much stuff
yes.
going on. You're so involved. You're so proactive. But what interests you when you're not writing?
Right. When I'm not writing, well, I like the girly things as most women do,
Mhm.
but I'm less superficial in the sense that I it's important for me to be doing something that's going to be important, going to affect the community or the people around me a lot. I mean, I have my younger son is autistic; he's nonverbal, and during the lockdown, most importantly, I mean, he's loved it because mum has been there to pamper him because he loves to be pamper him, do all these things for him. But also, it's allowed me to really um, keep, don't forget who you are. No matter how big or how small you think you are yourself and you are a person that affects everything around you. And I think that's what interests me outside of everything, never forgetting who you are, where you came from, and how important um, you are to everybody who you meet or you connect with. So, yes,
Beautiful, beautiful. Sam, one of the things I recognize with you from speaking to you, from seeing some of the things you're involved in, I see you as a kind of community evangelist. Yeah, and I just wanted to know, with all that's happening around you, where exactly do you get your ideas for writing your books?
well, I do meditate, and I'm a Reiki master. I'm not familiar if you're familiar with Reiki.
Yeah, I am.
It's happening, but I am a Reiki master and Reiki Seiki master.
Okay.
And since I was initiated about 15 years ago, I can seem to have this thing where I can see visions for people where they should be going with their lives. And I just tell people they think that I'm mad and they always think that there's something but my ideas really just come to me. When I'm meditating, there's something that I need to do. And if the idea comes, I just move and I just do it. Um, so it's really being guided by by God. I don't know,
A higher
but
power.
it's really yes,
A higher power. Yeah, Sam.
yes,
Meditation is very powerful. It re-energizes you, and I know when I speak to successful people, they tend to spend time in silence. Some
yes,
mention meditation, some just mention the need to just have moments to themselves. And Reiki, from my understanding, is a very deep spiritual, I call it realm and experience.
yes,
So I hope, and this is like a suggestion, I hope you've mentioned Reiki in your book as well.
and stuff. I've mentioned elements of it
Okay.
and stuff. I have mentioned elements of it. It would be it would be sacrificial not to, because it's just such an important way of life. And just getting rid of the layers and being able to say, well, this is me. I've come on here and my hair is still lockdown mode, but I'm okay with it because I'm giving you who I am.
Right.
So
You
I
have to be
think
true
if
to yourself.
yes,
You have to be
yes.
true to yourself.
And yes, and if you are able to do that, you understand spiritually who you are. So
Definitely.
I think it's yes,
And the
very
thing about it too is as you speak, you have your audience who would listen to you, who would understand exactly what you're saying, who would connect with you.
yes,
Writing for me has been a journey, and it continues to be a journey. I still tell myself that after my second book, I want to concentrate on being an author. But um, as part of your journey, tell me one of the most valuable things that you've learned while writing your own book.
well, I think while writing the book, it's so important that you just realize every word you write, somehow, in some way, it will touch somebody. And you've got to be very, very aware and conscious of what you say. And I think that carries a lot of weight and responsibility in it, because somebody somewhere is going to be touched by this. And, you know, what you say, and from then on, what you do, being conscious of what you're giving out, so you can be that light that you're supposed to be, as a way of the book, you know, that people can actually look and say, well, look, we've got somewhere to go. This, you know, this is where, you know, so I think that's what I've realized.
Great, Sam. I could tell you definitely that when your book is out there, it will touch a lot of people's lives. I know that for a fact. And I want you to believe that as well, because you don't know what you're creating sometimes until you see the end result and you start seeing the reality that, hey, I really did not expect this to have such an impact. And with that said, I'd like to ask you, as an author, because that's the title you carry now, as an author, what advice would you give to a new and aspiring writer?
First of all, I'd say go for it, but make sure, be very aware, know what you have to say, and always allow your words to have some form of impact.
Lovely.
You know, impact for the better, hopefully, but, you know, but impact, so it will move, it will change something. And yeah.
Amazing. Now tell me, which type of books do you mainly focus on? I know you're writing your book now, but what books do you focus on altogether?
In terms of reading them, or
Writing.
well, I love well, I've got such a wide interest, but I do love personal development books. I think it's very important to have good empowerment books around you. I love erotic books as well. I am a known erotic poet. You didn't know that.
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, there could never be a book that I've written that won't have something to that nature in it. Love erotic poetry. And I love things that inform and things that allow people to be themselves and share new ideas, so that people can be open and to see what's going on and maybe have a different perspective on things and stuff. But my favorite is erotic literature. Love it.
You tell me that that's definitely going to be in a book, something erotic.
Oh, it is. It is. Yes, I could never bring a book out that's got any juiciness in it.
All right. So, Sam, we all have our daily lives. We all have our ups and downs. Can you tell me, as a person, what one thing you struggle with now that that you have completed, now that you almost completed a book, right? One thing that you struggled with.
Right. Well, I think the thing that I struggle with is actually revealing to people I know that I have this book, that I'm going to have a book. And it's not because of I'm ashamed of anything that would be in the contents of my book, because of course I know it will help people in more ways than they realize. But it's really the support from people that you know, because sometimes things, when things happen, some people's reactions are a lot different than you would expect. And so that's my concern. And obviously,
would you say still struggling with that?
I don't know if I'm struggling. Basically, I do have that thing where I am thinking about it, but now that I'm close to completion and stuff, and it coming out, obviously it's here, so it's you just have to deal with it. but I'm acknowledging it, that, you know, I've been having this, you know, to and fro conversation, but you know, it's going to be out there. I'm proud of everything that I've got in it and stuff, even the juiciness. um, so I'm quite comfortable with it. It's just how, if, you know, the support of, you know, oh, she's, you know, written a book. That's great. Or who does she think she is? But, you know, it's really not, it's not actually my issue. And I don't think so. I think it's their issue. But yes, and I think that's what I need to put to bed. It's their issue and stuff. This is my baby that I birthed, that, you know, and it's here, you know, delivered. So
I like that, delivered. So when you finish your book, right, and it's all out there, there are people who are still going to doubt you. People are not going to believe you're an author. Even though your book is out there published and it's being sold, people are still not going to believe you. So, like you said, it's something for you to put to bed as such. But I'm certain you're going to do that. And of course, if you need my help, I'm here. You know, there's a phone call away, as you know. You know, we spoke recently, and we spoke about this summer your book being out, say, by September. You think that's still the case, you know? Before we'll be seeing your book.
Yeah, the wheels are in motion now. So yeah. So
Okay, tell me, as a child growing up, what did you want to become when you grew up?
Well, you would not believe this, but I wanted to be a vet.
Okay.
Because I love cats, I love dogs. Was never allowed to have a pet, but I loved them. But then my parents took me on holiday to Dominica, and I saw snakes and I saw lizards, and I said, maybe that's not for me. Because if I had to take care of those things, because people do have them as pets, and they do take them to the vet. I thought, maybe this is not for me. So I put that to bed.
Okay, so what I can say as well is, sometimes when you have a childhood dream, or even any aspiration wherever you are now in your life, sometimes it can evolve. It can evolve into something else. So what would you say now is your dream goal apart from writing your book?
Well,
what do you want to do?
I will answer that. I'll go back to what you asked me in the first place, because after that dream of the vet, my father was a sax player, a fantastic sax player, and then I decided I wanted to sing. I wanted to be in show business, and up until the time, I had actually said that I wanted to be in show business. My father was very happy for me to learn how to play the piano. Doing my lessons, I said that the piano lesson stopped, and you know, she could not do this, but because he didn't want me to be in show business, because as far as he's concerned, the life of a woman in show business was not the best.
Okay.
But of course, I wanted it, and I lived in Dominica for a couple of years. I went to grammar school then and came back when I was 17, that to do my A-levels. And I came back with the thoughts of being a lawyer, because we've got a lot of lawyers in my family. But then it never left me.
Okay, great.
You know, started going to things that had classical voice, had a good jazz voice and stuff. And then I actually ended up doing my degree in music and American studies.
Lovely. So you did have one, or let your dream change or evolve into something else, and to an extent you've achieved that, isn't it?
Yes, because I mean, I went on to, you know, I've worked with Late Pavarotti, Eric Clapton, Sting, and stuff. So I've done a lot, and then I fell pregnant, which I felt was, in a way, it was another avenue I had to take to help people. Because after having my second son, I trained as a therapist.
Okay, so would you say a blessing in disguise? I mean, it actually, now that you're a therapist, you can see where music plays a role there. One of the things
Yeah,
I do as a coach, I work with young people, and I'm getting harder into it now, where I want to use music and poetry into helping young people express themselves. And I'm
yes,
sure we'll talk about that some more.
yeah,
Like we agreed, I really want you to get this book out, concentrate on getting your book complete
yeah,
out. And you touch on a few things that I didn't even know myself. So I
yeah,
think we will definitely like to speak offline and get those things back on track.
yeah. Yes, that'd be brilliant and stuff. But yeah, but I always say to people, if the dream is in you and it won't leave you, you've got to go for it because your instincts are telling you to where you need to go, and nobody around you can really tell you where you need to go because God has a plan for you.
All
And
right.
if you don't follow that path, it could be detrimental to your development and to the people that you were supposed to touch along the way. So, you know,
Sam. Well, this is the end of our interview, but thank you very much for sharing. And like I said, we are I'm saying me, myself, the audience, we are looking forward to getting a copy of your book here in our hands, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you again very, very soon.
yes, thank you for having me, Andrew, and stuff. And I can't wait for you guys to get it. It'd be wonderful. It'd be life transforming. It'd be elevating, and women out there are gonna be having a new attitude. You
I'm
definitely.
loving it already. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care. Thank you for having